have some treats to chop up. We've already cut a crap load of hot dogs. And when I say we, I mean my baby trainers. And when I say baby trainers, I mean badass trainers to be. But we all start somewhere. Okay, so this client did an amazing job and brought the dog's own training treats, hot dogs included, but we're gonna chop up these cheese sticks. So first you have to, I have dogs on here begging, they're like, please give me some of the food. Okay, so we start by opening them, and they are not cold right now, so they feel disgusting. When I am doing stuff like this, I don't like dogs in this kitchen. I have a little galley kitchen, so, you know, it's not a lot of room for me, and I have 3 dogs out right now, so there's not a lot of room for me and 3 dogs, okay? There's just not. I have 1 dog here on just a constant mission to look for food. That's his sole existence. So a lot of people are like, my dogs don't, I don't give them people food, right? Like it's a good thing. And they're like, I don't give my dogs people food. Not at all. I do. So I'm not like, I'm eating a cheese stick. Do you want a piece? It's not like that, because then that creates begging. But giving our dogs like the treats that they sell at pet stores all the time, they're not that amazing of quality, you know, and they have a ton of preservatives and shit in it. Not that these don't have preservatives as well, because it does. But when we're like, here's a 4-ounce bag of Blue Buffalo treats that cost me $17, you should love it. When it comes to using high value treats for our dogs, use some freaking high value, people. Like, seriously, do you want to go to work for like $5 an hour? No, we all used to do that when we were kids and we thought we were making good money. I remember my first paycheck, I was like, wow, this is $150, Mom, this is so cool. And she was like, yeah, that's rad, right? And she was like, broke ass kid. I remember my next check was $175, and I was like, Mom, I made more money this time. And I'm sure she was just like, oh, that's cute. So in the beginning, how that relates to dogs is, sure, they might work for kibble or like your Blue Buffalo expensive treats. But as soon as you go outside and there's competing factors, you better bust out some chicken, some cheese, some hot dogs. When you are taking your dog outside, or you are working on, you know, training something that is maybe a little tricky, curl the fingers in. When you're working on something that's a little tricky or whatever, bust out some damn human food. Like, just do it. I would rather have a dog that is maybe a little fat and maybe has some potty breaks or a little unpredictable. Not that your dog's gonna be like freaking pooping all over your house just because you gave it some cheese or constipated or, you know, whatever. But, you know, when you feed your dog at 6 a.m. and you feed your dog at 6 p.m., you know kind of like where those potty breaks fall, because you're only doing 2 feedings a day or 1 feeding a day or whatever. Yeah, that's the benefit of feeding like twice or once or whatever. But your dog is also like, there's nothing motivating me in life. I'm crazy, you know? And so people that don't train all the time with like a million treats, right? Like when I go to a client's house, I'm like, can you get a bunch of treats? They're like, here, I have a lot. I'm like, no, we need like a million, girl. They're like blown away by how many treats we go through. And so that's why when I'm cutting cheese, like this is a big piece. I want it to be like, this is a piece of cheese that I'm going to use for training, right? So I'm not going to use all these huge pieces. I'm going to get a bigger knife. Get out of my kitchen, old dog. Get out of my kitchen. This kitchen ain't big enough for both of us. He's like, but please, more soup, please. So I'm gonna take a knife and I'm gonna cut all this stuff. So I'm gonna cut all this into smaller pieces. So when you're training your dog, focus on remembering that your dog is selfish, okay? It's like dogs are selfish, and so we need to remember that. And so when we are wanting them to do things for us, don't just say, oh, you have to do it. You got to do more for this little piece, you know, like really break it down and reward every little thing that they do. You know, we will pull off of that. We don't need to reward every tiny little step along the way, but in the beginning, you for sure do. So I have one dog here that's on a diet, fat cane. You don't just get food for existing anymore, okay? I've been feeding him too much because he's out too much. So you know what? I kennel him so I out of sight, out of mind, and I don't beat him as much because he's not out all the time. You little fatty. Let's show the camera how fat you are. Show to people how fat you are. This is my fat dog. It is totally normal and okay to love your dog and not like your dog. I'm pretty sure most of our parents felt the same way about us. Like it happens. When you're around anything long enough, there's gonna be things where you go like, oh my God, this is so annoying. You know, it happens with friends, partners, family, right? You go home for the holidays and you're like, time to leave, babe. We've been here for 4 days. It's 2 days too long. Time to bounce. So use high value treats with your dogs because they want you to. If you want a dog that wants to work for you, you got to pay them what they want to be paid. Cause a stop. A dog just spilled like literally a whole gallon of water. Get out of the kitchen. This is why I have boundaries, because a dog spilling a whole gallon of water is something I can deal with once a day. Maybe twice a day. Anything more than that, no. It's very frustrating. And it's totally normal and okay to be frustrated with your dog. So whenever there's a frustration going on, right, it means that you need to change something. You need to figure out what's causing that frustration. In this case, it's because Bo doesn't have awareness over his feet. And so I need to not leave the water down when Bo is out and I'm kicking him out of the kitchen left and right. Okay, we're gonna throw away all these wrappers. We're gonna put this in the fridge and we're gonna have a bunch of training treats for Pete because Pete likes hot dogs and cheese and his owner brought it for training. So we're gonna use it. When you bring your dogs for boarding, you can totally provide treats. We also have a lot of hot dogs and such, but when a client provides training treats, it makes me, the trainer, go, oh, I'm gonna train you with these hot dogs because they're just right here. If it's right in front of you, I'm kind of like, let's use it right now, right? Because it's fun to open new packages of things for whatever reason. Moral of the lesson, train with high value people food. It is okay to use chicken, beef, trachea, liver, whatever you want. Hot dogs. Just don't feed it to them full time, obviously, right? You don't eat Taco Bell or Wawa every single day. You can't. You'd be the most unhealthy person ever. But if you eat it sometimes, like after jiu-jitsu and after conditioning, it's okay. It's okay.